White flag is raised, and they're off. And the Guinness Kerry National of 25, 18 runners over 3 miles and 15 fences. Spanish Harlem first to show in front from Anyway. Right with them, Monbeg Park, and to the inside is San Salvador. They're followed by Le Coquardie and the company Sergeant and French Dynamite as they come to jump the first fence. And as they rise, it is Spanish Harlem, Light and Strike, blundered and unshipped James Byrne. The English runner over out of the race at the first as they turn in for fences 2 and 3. French Dynamite just picks it up from San Salvador. Anyway, the company Sergeant on the inside, the mare She Could Be Anything, followed by Spanish Harlem and 3-card Bragg. Coming towards the second fence, the Mon Ami fence, and it is in the center. French Dynamite rising just in the lead from San Salvador. Anyway, the company Sergeant, and then She Could Be Anything, Spanish Harlem, 3-card Bragg, and up the inside is Arctic Fly. And then Sandor Clegane and Monbeg Park and Le Coquardie next with the top weight in mid-division Pied Piper. Then You Oughta Know and See Music. Salvador Ziggy, the grey duffel coat, and at the back of the field is Outside the Door. The field preceded by the loose Light and Strike as they turn away to fence number 4. And it is Spanish Harlem going back to the front, followed by Anyway, improving round them is Sandor Clegane and then San Salvador. Reined off them a few places as they jump to 4th is French Dynamite. All safely over that one, a mistake by Arctic Fly. About to cross over to fence number 5, and it is Spanish Harlem, San Salvador Anyway, followed by the company Sergeant, French Dynamite, She Could Be Anything, and 3-card Bragg. Then comes Pied Piper. Wide of the leaders, Monbeg Park with Sandor Clegane. As they go to the fence back behind, it's the 5th, and it's Spanish Harlem, just leading from Anyway and San Salvador. Then the company Sergeant, French Dynamite, Sandor Clegane, Monbeg Park. She Could Be Anything, 3-card Bragg. Le Coquardie and Pied Piper is next. And then See Music and Salvador Ziggy and You Oughta Know. 2/3 of the way back is followed by Stabling Companion, Arctic Fly, and then Duffel Coat and Outside the Door. On to fence number 6, the first of 2 ditches in the race, as they complete a circuit. And it is Spanish Harlem, far from flown, rejoined by Anyway. On the inside, San Salvador, tracked by French Dynamite and the company Sergeant, Sandor Clegane, and 3-card Bragg. Onto the fence, which was their first. It's number 7 this time. 3 across the track. Spanish Harlem, Anyway, and San Salvador. Being followed back for the approach to the straight second time by French Dynamite. Then the company Sergeant, and they're followed by Monbeg Park. They swing in for the next 2 fences. Spanish Harlem and Danny Mullins just lead from San Salvador, J.J. Slevin. Anyway turns in 3rd, Shane Fitzgerald, followed by the company Sergeant and last year's winning rider Keith Donoghue. And these are being tracked by 3-card Bragg and Jack Kennedy as they jump the first of the 2 fences in the straight. Slight mistake in mid-pack by Sandor Clegane. To the fence, that'll be the final fence next time, the Guinness Kerry National. Spanish Harlem. From on the inside, it's San Salvador, followed by French Dynamite, who regains 3rd. And then Anyway, the company Sergeant next. On the inside is 3-card Bragg, then Sandor Clegane and Pied Piper and Monbeg Park and Le Coquardie creeping into contention. You Oughta Know, and then See Music, Salvador Ziggy and Arctic Fly with the last 2 Outside the Door and Duffel Coat. They embark on their second and final circuit with 6 more fences left to jump. And the leaders are bunching up. Spanish Harlem round the bend. Fractional leader from San Salvador and Anyway. Little is changed up front, followed by the company Sergeant and French Dynamite. Over that fence past the stands. And You Oughta Know is gone, and so too is Pied Piper. Spanish Harlem on now to 5 out from San Salvador. 2 lengths off them is Anyway. After Anyway is 3-card Bragg, the company Sergeant. French Dynamite's lost a bit of ground. They're followed by Le Coquardie. Going to the fence on the far side, 5 from the finish. Spanish Harlem, San Salvador, followed by Anyway, the company Sergeant. French Dynamite and 3-card Bragg, who's in the leading half dozen, then Le Coquardie. See Music, Sandor Clegane, Salvador Ziggy is next, then Monbeg Park. Turning towards the last ditch, which will be 4 fences from the finish. Matching strides, Spanish Harlem and San Salvador, a couple of lengths in front of the company sergeant. Edging closer, 3-card Bragg, followed by Anyway. Out wide, French Dynamite. Onto the heels of the leaders is Le Coq RD, with a gap then to See Music, heading to 3 fences from the finish. And it is Spanish Harlem and San Salvador. Continuing first and second, followed by 3-card Bragg, French Dynamite. The company sergeant outside the door is being pulled up. San Salvador is down there. Took a heavy fall, and it is Spanish Harlem back for home in the last 2 fences from French Dynamite, ridden back up on the outside, and 3-card Bragg, who moves after them in third. Fourth is just Le Coq RD from the company sergeant, gone away from Anyway and See Music. They straighten for the final 2 fences, and Spanish Harlem has opened up a sizable advantage. At the second last, Spanish Harlem over from 3-card Bragg into second, and French Dynamite. Le Coq RD, the company sergeant, the final fence coming up in the Guinness Kerry National of 25, and it is Spanish Harlem and Danny Mullins out in front from 3-card Bragg, and up the finish it is Spanish Harlem lifting the 25 renewal of the Guinness Kerry National. Up there in front from the start, 3-card Bragg second, French Dynamite, Le Coq RD, See Music next.
Well, Danny Mullins just having a look at the trophy. He's just won his second Guinness Kerry National. Danny, plenty of water has gone under the bridge since faltering full back in 2012. How much of a thrill was it to win it again?
Fantastic. You know, this is the race of the week here in Listowel. And to come down here, you know, a Willie Mullins, novice, unexposed, had run well in Sandown. And yeah, I thought he had a great chance. Everything went to plan. A few little mistakes on the way around, but very tough at the heel of the hunt.
I mean, he'd been put by, it seemed, for this race after winning at Punchestown. Had all the ducks kind of fallen into place in a row, so to speak. That's
it. You know, Sean Cleary was good on him in Punchestown after Sandown, and Willie was hoping to get him out a few times in between then, but it just didn't happen. I think with ground being a little bit lively, the odd day for him, he's just kept his powder dry, and lucky enough, you know, for me.
And when you got to the front off the turn, would you have been pretty surprised if there was one to pass you after that?
I thought so. You know, I thought myself and JJ got a lovely fill in down the side, and you know, I thought with that it was going to be one of the two of us that had fight it out, and I hope, you know, all is okay, but I was glad to see he wasn't a danger to me coming down the straight.
The owners obviously have a fair connection with Grand Nationals. They're great supporters of the game, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely. You know, the Fitzgeralds are going to be delighted with this, and as you say, Grand National connection, stamina proven in Sandown. Who knows, the door's open. Fantastic.
Tell me this, what's the rest of the week looking like now that you've got the main business out of the way?
I've got a couple here tomorrow. Nice riding the first for Dick Donoghue, one for my mother, and 1 or 2 more. I'll go through that for him tonight, and one here on Friday for Joe Murphy, Gabriel Ranger as well. So, you know, it's hopefully get another few on the board, but every race in Listowel is just so competitive. They're not easy come by. I'm delighted with this. I'll try be greedy and hope for more.
Yeah, I mean, this race often really kick-starts the National season, Danny, doesn't it? Are you expecting or certainly hoping for big things in the months ahead?
Hopefully so. You know, with the rainfall, and now there's a chance we might see some of the Willie Mullins horses earlier than normal, but who knows, it can often dry up quick as well. So, you know, I've been very fortunate to ride some of the best horses, you know, for great owners and a great team in Willie's, and that's opened the door for me to pick up some big outside rides as well. But you know, it all comes back to Willie, his owners and the team in Close Hutton to put me on that platform.
It's a lovely trophy, the Listowel Gold Cup. It goes to Danny Mullins and Spanish Harlem. Well done, Dan.
Thank you.
Cameras and microphones everywhere here at Listowel today. It's the big day of the week, the Guinness Kerry National. Willie Mullins has won it again with Spanish Harlem. Willie, a race you never tired of winning this one, a huge family history. What a performance from Spanish Harlem today.
Tremendous, because he wasn't the cheapest horse in the world when we bought him, and he just hasn't been firing, but we put cheek pieces on him today, got his jumping right at long last, and Danny came up with a plan. Plan A was to jump out, give him plenty of daylight, go wide, and it worked, and he jumped. Danny got him jumping super, made 1 or 2 mistakes, but I think he'll iron out that too.
Unfortunately, You Oughta Know exited before the race really began in earnest. Is he okay?
Yeah, but I think Paul, well, I'm told Paul and the horse are fine. But, that, you know, when you have novices, horses coming out of novice company, first run the handicap, that happens. You know, it's just, I wouldn't be putting too much money on them. But, you know, he had the ability, and he will. He might win a Kerry National somewhere down the road, or a race of similar stature. But they've got to, you know, get the knocks and learn their trade.
There'll be other days for him. Back to the winner, given who owns him, are all roads likely to lead to Aintree next spring?
I imagine we'd love to produce him in the Randox Grand National in Liverpool, Aintree. But I'm sure we'll have to have a go at maybe, I don't know whether we go for the Munster National or the Coral Cup in Newbury, you know, races like that. I think he likes nicer ground, and that could be a key to him. But plenty of jumping and longer trips.
That's obviously a huge prize to win today, but he's still a relatively young horse, not a whole lot of mileage on the clock. Do you reckon there could be better ahead?
I think so. I think we're just getting the hang of him, and he's getting the hang of Irish jumping. I mean, when he came from France, he was very light looking, but a lot of those horses we get from France are light, and I think it's just taken him a year or two to acclimatise. You know, that's
fantastic. All. Lovely to win it again, Willie. Thanks for your time. Congratulations.
Well done.
Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.